Okay, Rich Van Tassel here with you, giving you our recap of Game 1 between the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors. The Heat coming out on top, 102-96 in overtime. The game went to overtime off of basically a half-court miracle from Kyle Lowry at the end of regulation. After Miami had made a couple critical mistakes, they almost made some at the end of overtime too that would have allowed Toronto to get back in the game. Luckily, they got a steal at the end and were able to seal it. But they fumbled the ball out of bounds with a 3-point lead, and then DeMar DeRozan turned the ball over to give it back to the Heat. But most of you watched the game, so you know about that. With this one, I'm still stunned at the lack of quality play from DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, especially Kyle Lowry. Even with that half-court heave, 3 of 13, 1 of 7 from three-point. Obviously, that half-court shot was the only one that went in for him. 7 points, 6 assists. Jonas Valanciunas, again, had a very impressive game. 24 points and 14 rebounds. He certainly is not to blame for Toronto's struggles this postseason. DeRozan did have 22 points of 9, but was 9 of 22 shooting, was -4 in the plus-minus. Had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Toronto had 41 total rebounds, only 4 offensive. Miami had 52 rebounds, 11 offensive. So as good as Toronto was in the first round series against the Indiana Pacers, they were getting bludgeoned on the glass tonight. For the Miami Heat, Goran Dragic had a very good game. 10 of 20 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Was plus, 13? Yeah, plus 13 while he was on the court. Hassan Whiteside, only 9 points, did have 17 rebounds, but only 1 block. He usually has more than that. Missed a critical free throw at the end of regulation. Miami was 14 of 21 from the line. Toronto, 11 of 15. Now, with Miami as well, shot 8 of 11 from three-point land, which is 72%. Toronto was only 5 for 21, but only missed 9 points because Miami didn't shoot that many. Despite the high shooting percentage, they didn't shoot that many, but that allowed Toronto to hang in the game. Both teams shot exactly the same, 40 of 89 from the floor, which is just under 45% at 44.9. Now, with this series, while I did pick Toronto in 6, it's certainly going to be very difficult, especially losing Game 1, and how often do teams that lose Game 1 win series? They were able to win the first round after losing Game 1. Do you really expect them to come back and win another series after losing Game 1? So obviously that prediction is in trouble, and Toronto is in trouble. And frankly, it's not going to matter, all the statistics about winning or losing Game 1 if Kyle Lowry especially does not show up. DeMar DeRozan is playing okay, but Kyle Lowry has just been terrible this playoffs, and it continues. So he's certainly going to need to correct that. Dwayne Wade as well for Miami was very good. You could see he was getting frustrated with his teammates towards the end, but he sealed the game with a steal late, then took it down, got a bucket, and was fouled to end the game. So, moving forward to Game 2, can Miami clean up the mistakes they made at the end of this game? They're certainly going to have to do it. You don't want to play with fire. And when is Kyle Lowry going to get started? It looks like this guy clearly just not a postseason player. So he certainly has time to correct it, but we'll see. So we have Golden State and Portland on right now. I'll watch as much of this game as I can, but we'll most likely give you the recap of that come tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll give you all the recaps of all the games that are played tomorrow as well after they happen. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much. Have a good night.